Welcome to day 22 of my 100 Days of Webflow journey. Today we're going to do something very exciting, something exciting to me at least. It's something that I've been wanting to do for a while now, and since I'm doing this 100 days challenge, I thought, why not do it now? Which is building my own marketplace, my own template marketplace on levelflow.io. So whether you're building a marketplace or an e-commerce website for yourself or for your client, then this video is for you. I'm going to walk you through the process from building this on Webflow, integrating it with the CMS, and then integrating it with the payment system, and then finally publishing it live. So without further ado, let's jump to it. Don't forget to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, turn on that notification bell to stay tuned on this 100 days journey, and let's go. Let's just move this away. All right, so basically I have this design simple sketch that I made up for this page. Now I'm gonna try to make it as much as possible like this page. So you see I have my heading, the same navbar that I have right now on levelflow.io. I have the same theme, the same type of style that I follow. Now this is not much, this is very minimalist. I like minimalist styles. This is the theme I have on my website currently, so I'm just gonna follow this. Now the idea is to make this on Webflow right now. So let's get to it. So let's go to my website. I'm on the website. I'm on a blank page called templates, and I'm gonna start building. Now first step is to add that navbar. So I have actually a navbar that is a simplified nav, which is what I want right now. And then we're gonna start building this website. So first thing, I'm gonna build the page wrapper. So we go to the style panel, we build page wrapper, and this is the page wrapper. Inside it, there's gonna be the main wrapper, which is main wrapper. We're gonna add the simplified nav here. So main wrapper, and then inside the main wrapper is my section. So section, heading, and this is the top section. Now as you can see, there is a bit of space here, so we're gonna try to unify this. So we'll try to make space. So first thing, we'll add page padding. So this is page padding from the side, so it's 4 rem. This is the universal page padding that I use across my website. So this is for the sake of staying consistent. And then inside it, I'm just gonna add a container. So container level is what I'm using. So this is 80 rem max. And then inside it, I'm just gonna add a vertical padding. So I have this padding vertical. So now I can see this 5 rem from top, 5 rem from bottom. So this is where I'm gonna build my content. Now, whether you build your container inside the padding vertical or your padding vertical inside your container, this is up to you. Now I'm gonna add my section. So this is a template header, and this is not much. There's actually, let's make this page padding large, and I will make it 10 instead of 5, just to make it larger, just like the design here. And then we're gonna add that title. So we're gonna add a heading, and now I'm using the font that I'm using, which is Clash Display. So this is heading. I'm just gonna make this large. I think I have text size large. No, I think I have X large. I don't have anything that's that large. Let's see how big this is. So this is 209, and this one is 5 rem. So maybe we make text size X large, and this will be like 10 rems. All right, and then maybe we'll just make it medium because it's too bold. All right, so this is the header. Now I have this section here, which is a small paragraph text on the side. So we might have to add on the template header, we will we will wrap, since there is the new wrap in functionality, so we'll wrap in a div block, and then we'll add in a paragraph. So, and then we'll make this div block horizontal, and then we'll make it a line down, and then we'll name it template heading. And then this is, for now, there's not much text, and then we'll make a gap between these two of 2 rem, let's say maybe 5 rem. Now this is looking similar. All right, and then next we have this UI for the filter, so we'll build that. So what we need now is template header. All right, so after template header, we'll need to add the filter component. So we'll add this, we'll name this div template filter UI, and then inside it we'll add a filter, which is a form block. So the form block is the filter, because we're going to use FinSuite filter UI, FinSuite filter attributes. So that works with the form component. We're going to leave this text field because it's going to be a search field. We're going to delete this, we're going to delete this, we're going to delete this. We're going to add a Dropbox drop down here, and then this form, we will make it horizontal. We'll make it space between. We'll name this template filters. And then we will move this Dropbox here. This Dropbox will say, why am I saying Dropbox? Drop down. Drop down will say jump to category. This will be smaller. So let's say this is 200 divided by 16. So this is 12.5. We said this is space between, but it's not spacing between. So this is the troubleshooting stuff that we go through. So you see here in dropdown, it's having this margin for some reason, which I don't want. So I'm going to delete it, make it 0, 0, and then this will be space between, and we'll center it, and we'll remove this margin here because there's a margin, and this will say search as the placeholder, search, and we'll style it a little bit so it will have a border white, and then the thing will be transparent, the background, the text will be white, and yeah, maybe we'll give it like more padding, 24. So you can do 24 divided by 16, and that's how you get the rems. Or if you have the FinSuite extension, which I do, and I do this usually at the end, is pixel to rem calculator or pixel to rem migrator, and it just does the whole thing for you. So don't worry if you miss some of them. We'll do it that we'll finally calculate and migrate everything to rem. Now let's continue. Let's make this text white. We need this text to be white, jump to category, and we will need to make this template filter have this top and bottom line. So we'll make that. And how we'll do that? We'll do that by adding a top border white, bottom border white. And for that, let's also remove this borders, because it will look better if we remove all the borders. If we see how we make this, yeah, this is not bad for now. And then now this is done. Let's just space it, space filter UI, give it a margin top of, let's say 2 rem. So this is spaced between the header and the filter. And this drop down, we will worry about it later, but for now, this is the drop down. Let's leave it for now. Let's continue with building the templates. So let's see this here. Let's inspect this first. So what we have here is a grid of 3. Now, later on, this will be populated by the CMS. So what we need to do is just build the idea, and then later on, we'll just make the CMS populate this. So we have this grid of 3. So let's build this with the CMS in mind. So let's add a div block. We'll call this div block template collection. And then this template collection will have another div block inside it, because that's how the CMS usually is, which is going to be template grid. And this will be a grid of 3. And then inside it will be the template item, and then the template item will have this image, it's a big image, and then this text. So let's say template item will have 2 divs inside it. One of it will be template image wrapper, and that will have the image. And let's just paste one of the images that I have here downloaded, which is, let's say, this one. This is one of the projects I've worked on previously. So we'll just put this here. And then under it, we'll have another div under, not inside the image wrapper, but inside the template item, which will be template item content. And then we will go to template item, give it a vertical flex, and just give it a gap of 1.5 frame, for example, so that it has a gap between the item and the image. And then we will add here, we'll see what we need to add. So we need to add this horizontal text, 2 text on top of each other, and then this button here. So we'll break it down. So we'll add a box here, div block of, what will we name this? Template content name. I don't know. I always get lost with the names, so I don't know, but it's good to name, at least, even if you don't name them so professionally, at least they indicate what they are. So this is the content names or titles. Titles sounds good. Just name your divs. Always name your divs. Please don't leave like div 24, div 23. That's just bad practice. This is bad practice, but that's even worse. Anyways, so template titles will have, let's say heading 3, and this will be the name. So this is called arrow. And then inside, under it will be a text block, which is like the category, or the category. So it'll be like Figma to Webflow template. And then here will be the button, which has the price. Now the price is not this price, but we'll get to that later. So we'll have a text block. Now for price, since this is going to be dynamic later on, and to keep that in mind, we need to have a span. So you can have a span inside the text itself and then target that span with your payment system or whatever you're going to integrate, or you can just have more than one text inside this div block, and we call this price button. And then we'll make it flex horizontal, and this will be like $, $, and this will be the price. And then this looks better. So later on, you can just edit this part and integrate this part with your CMS. Or let's keep it like this. You can even go further by just making this a number, and then maybe you want to have this currency thing as a dynamic part, because sometimes you might have these tools where you can showcase different pricings depending on the user location. So we can explore that further later on. So now the USD and the dollar, maybe this one, we'll give it, we'll name this price number, and we'll just give it padding on the right 0.2 rem. So it's just spaced out between, and then maybe later on we'll target this by class price number. So this is the part that we needed to build. Now let's also move template collection, give it margin top of 2 rem, and then we have it spaced out. Also, let's get this arrow. Maybe I have this arrow here actually. If we go to price button, we'll just add actually let's just add an SVG so we can color this arrow later on. And let's copy this vector. So how is this built actually here? Why is this like this? And just group this and interesting. All right, so let's just export this as SVG. Let's see if this works actually. So arrow, and if we go to arrow and then open with Sublime Text and then copy this and go to our project, paste it here, give the stroke not white, current color, save. Yes, this is correct. Okay, so what did I do there? I exported it as an SVG, and then I looked up the code here of the SVG, and then I pasted it as an embed code on my project. Why did I do that? Now, since I did that, if let's say I change the text color here to, let's say, I don't know, red, everything changes. Oh well, there's still something that doesn't change. So when I did current color, that's supposed to change the color to the current color of whatever it is. Now, since there are two elements here, and sometimes it gets complicated, but this one is very simple. Since there are two elements, which is the line and the arrow, they both have stroke. So one of them is current color, and we can change the other stroke, which is white, to current color. Now, if I change this to red, it just changes to red, black, whatever color I want. And then this can be useful for me later on if I want to make a hover animation or whatever animation that I want to do. Now, let's name this icon, button, whatever. And then we'll just give it also a 0.25 rem spacing, so it has some spacing. And let's make it smaller. So here also you can do that. You can make it into auto, or so I'm just gonna write auto, don't enter. And then let's make this into 12, something like smaller like this. And now I have this looking okay. Let's make this 14. All right, so this is looking good. Let's center it. Actually, let's just give it 2 because it doesn't look centered. Yeah, now it looks centered. All right, so I have this item here now. Now, so if I duplicate this many times, it's looking okay. Let's space this grid out. Let's say 2 rem between each of them, or maybe more, 2.5. See how this looks. Maybe even more, 5. Or actually, you can do that. Did you know you can do that? You can unlock this and gap the columns and rows differently. So if I put this into 2.5, this will be 5 and this will be 2.5. I found out this very recently, so it's a useful trick if you wanna like space them out differently. So this is looking good so far. I have my list. Now, of course, this is gonna be pulled in from the CMS that we will build in the next episode, and then we will link these buttons to the CMS, these titles, these categories, these images to the CMS. This is just a placeholder for now. And then finally we can, what do? We need to add, we can call this section heading. Actually, we need to add that footer. So we go to my component. So I have a footer component that I created for my website. So this level footer. So this is the footer component that I use across my website. This is the nav bar I use across my website, or at least on the pages that doesn't need any nav links. So now I have my page published. So if I check it out on the levelflow.io domain, let's check it out there. How's it looking? It's looking good. It's looking good. It's looking okay. And yeah. Now, one more thing I can do is, if I want this to be a button, which I do, I will just right click here and then convert it to a link block. Now this whole thing is a button now. Unfortunately, these underline come whenever it's a link block. So I'm just gonna go on the link itself and go to decoration and set it to none. Now all these underlines are gone. So this is looking better now. Maybe I can add an hover animation of, let's say, just reduce opacity to 75%, or not opacity of the whole thing, just opacity of the text, let's say 75%. So when I hover, just reduce the opacity. Also, let's reduce, or let's control the transition, and we can say opacity to be 300, 500. Okay. If we say all properties, yeah, okay, it's working now. I don't know why opacity was, because I didn't change actually the opacity of the thing. I changed the opacity of the font. So that's font color, not opacity. But yeah, so now it's working. You see it has this 500 millisecond transition timing. So we can see that. And now if we want to see that on all of them, I just delete this again. Again, this will be populated from the CMS. If I go to do this, you can see on all of them, it has this transition. Now I can get more creative with this, but for now, it's all about functionality in the beginning. And then later on, we fine tune these little stuff and make it look better. So yeah, that's it for today. Tomorrow we continue with the CMS, and then later on we continue with the payment system. Thank you for watching this video. I hope I taught you something today. Stay tuned on the series to see how this website ends up, and we will see how we integrate it with the CMS and with the payment system and finalize it for publishing. And stay tuned on this 100 days of Webflow journey, because there is a lot of content coming on the way. So turn on that notification bell, do subscribe and give me a thumbs up, and see you tomorrow.